Hello everyone, and today is another video. I'm going to be telling you 5 ways to fight institutionalization. And when I say institutionalization, I'm not talking about being put into a mental hospital. That's a whole nother topic. What I'm talking about is for people for people who have been in prison for a long time, uh, or if you're in my situation and you were raised on government assistance, if you were raised on welfare, been on welfare, grew up on welfare, uh, you have been institutionalized. And that's where things such as generational poverty come into view. And I'm going to show you 5 steps to fight institutionalization. And a lot of these are completely predictable. You've already seen these before, and without further ado, okay, the first one, number one, is read a book. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it doesn't matter what book you read, fiction or nonfiction. Read any book. You could even read the phone book. You know, you could even read a restaurant menu. Just read a book. Read a book. And if you can't get through cover to cover, then start by reading a few pages. Just read the introduction. You know, Eventually you'll get there. In the beginning, I could not read through an entire book from cover to cover, but now I read. Right now. I'm about to read 40 books this year from cover to cover. 40 books, and so the reason why I say read, and anybody who's ever seen a prison story or read a prison story, a lot of times, you know, the guy will start reading books in prison, or he'll get his degree in prison, and it'll be this great awakening for him. You know, uh, Reading gives you ideas about how life works and how people live, and it shows you what you're missing. It shows you what you have to incorporate into your life to have a better life when you get out. So, yeah, read a book, and you might wanna you might want to take notes, or get some index cards or something like that. You know, um, because you're not going to memorize an entire book. You some people can, but most people you're going to have to take notes or get some index cards, write things down, and uh, that's that. Reading shows you what you're missing. You know, uh, so yeah, reading shows you what you're missing. And number two is go for a long walk. Now, if you just pick a direction, just say, okay, I want to go that direction, and then walk. And what you're going to see is you're going to see the different neighborhoods. You're going to see the different type of people that live in different types of places. You're going to see a few Porsches. You're going to see a few rundown vehicles. You're going to see a few, you're going to see businesses, people, sort of mom and pop type businesses that have been running for 20 years. You're going to see large national business chains like Walgreens. You're going to see the way that people live. It's going to give you the courage to explore life. It's going to give you the courage to say, I want to make it up to where they are. I want to be like them someday, uh, and it gives you time to think. We're so busy consuming media that we don't have any time to think. And going for a long walk, you learn about your body. You get into shape as well. You get into shape, which is another thing that I could easily put on this list, which is get in shape. But walking will do that for you. If you go for a long walk, it'll get you into shape. Uh, if you do it often enough, and it just shows you how other people live. It just shows you, well, this is the type of car that's popular. This is the, you know, uh, opportunities open up if you put yourself in a position to take advantage of them. And number three is write a short story or a poem. By forcing yourself to be creative, by forcing yourself to create instead of consume all the time, you open up a new avenue in your mind. This is about mind expansion. By forcing yourself to be creative, you open up new avenues in your mind and you create a new plane of existence. You can create entire new worlds. You know, someday, I mean, you could expand your short stories into a novel, and then eventually you could, somebody could come along and make a movie out of it. It's not likely, but being able to first of all, being able to create a cohesive story, it 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 rearranges your brain and it organizes your brain. And then second of all, being creative, it calls you to action. It makes you commit actions. Uh, um, so yeah, and the next two are very related to that. Number four is to tweet. Four is to tweet, and this is some advice that I should take because I hate Twitter. I do not like going on Twitter because, like, I mean, it doesn't do anything for me. I would rather, I would rather read a cohesive narrative book, nonfiction book, than to go on someplace and get all go crazy over like 140 characters. I've been sitting here all day waiting for 140 characters. You know, the life has got to be more than 140 characters, and in that sense, Twitter is something that is hard to like. It's hard to like Twitter, but at the same time, it's very powerful. You know, and it's very powerful for getting your ideas out, and there's a lot of potential if you have the right ideas. And and you know, you can be creative. Your level of success with Twitter depends on your level of creativity. You know, you can create a way to make it so that Twitter is your friend, even if you don't like Twitter, like me. You know, you can come up with ways to make Twitter work for you. And that leads me to my fifth and final suggestion for how to fight institutionalization, and that is to make YouTube videos. Now, if your computer doesn't come with a camera, then you can buy a small web camera and buy some web camera recording software for your computer. But yeah, uh, that is the ultimate. Well, I wouldn't say it's the ultimate. I think reading is probably the ultimate. But YouTube with YouTube, it's better than Twitter because you can actually express an intelligent thought. You know, with Twitter, I mean, I'm ranting about Twitter because I don't like it, but really, YouTube is much better. And really, I used to upload a video on YouTube every day, but I stopped doing that because it really wasn't fun for me anymore. Uh, but regardless of that fact, you uploading a trying to upload a video, first of all, you have to come up with a title. You have to know what you're going to talk about, which leads you to the title. And by coming up with a title, it forces you to organize your thoughts and to actually try to provide value, which is the important part. You're trying to provide value. Most laptops that you buy nowadays are going to come with a web camera installed. If you have a desktop computer, you're going to have to buy a small device. And my laptop came with the recording software as well as the web camera. And so go and do it. So yeah, those are my suggestions. And if I have to edit this, if I have to update this or addendum this, I will. And hopefully I can get interested in making YouTube videos again so I can upload. But those are my suggestions for reversing the uh, institutionalization. And for a bonus, for bonus number six, I'm gonna say apply for a job. You know, and that's a bonus. It's a little bit hard to recommend because if somebody's been in prison for 10 years, they're probably not going to have an easy time getting a job. But the same goes for if you're like me and you were raised on welfare because employers want people from wealthier families. But but bonus number 6, I would say apply for a job because it is it gives you power. It's like it's like MC Hammer said, uh, and I think it was Good to Go. Yeah, I think it was Good to Go. He said, "My job gives me power, so let me get out of the shower." You know, uh, having a job gives you power. You know, and so these are ways to fight. It's hard. It's hard to apply. It's hard to apply when you've been rejected so many times. You know, rejection really does, eat away at you. But I guess, apply just every once in a while. Um, but those are my 5 suggestions plus one for fighting institutionalization, and this is necessary. We need to figure out how to reverse this because it's creating an entire different ethnicity. The institutionalized are becoming a completely different race of people. You know, people who it's like having a lobotomy. It's like having a lobotomy. You can't do you 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 don't you feel like there's something wrong with you because all around you everybody else is doing it and it just seems effortless, you know. But for you, you can't even start the first step, you know. So yeah, that's my suggestion for reversing institutionalization. Let me know what you think, and I will. Uh, First of all, I'll test these ideas out myself, and I already do some of them, but I'm gonna try doing all of them, and I'll see uh, how that results. So have a nice day, and bye.